At the end of the 2021 season, Red Bull Racing and AlphaTauri will find themselves with no engine as Honda announced that they will be leaving Formula 1 at the end of the 2021 season. Now, news has been everywhere, and of course we've covered that in not one but two episodes in F1 24/7 News, and a reaction done by myself, which of course came out on the day, also explaining the history of Honda. They've had a very turbulent time, good and bad, starting off with the bad and finishing on a good level. People are quite shocked that Honda are leaving because, as I say, they have been getting some good results, not just with Red Bull Racing, but also the sister team, and of course the team that tried out this experiment a year early in AlphaTauri, or Toro Rosso as they were called then. A win from Pierre Gasly, and of course also multiple wins by Max Verstappen, assured that the Honda is actually pretty strong, and they were set for a good partnership with Red Bull Racing and getting there with AlphaTauri, as I say, a team that are trying to break out into a brand new commodity away from the Red Bull Racing program, and of course trying to become their own Italian team. So it's been looking good, and then all of a sudden that's just completely stopped. It's been big news, especially for the Austrian team, but also for the Italian team, about where they're going to be going at the end of the 2021 season. Are they going to return to Renault, the team that they've had a bit of a turbulent time with? Are AlphaTauri, formerly known as Toro Rosso, going to return to Ferrari? And of course, why have the Japanese team left? And of course, what is the fate for the man who is running the ship at Red Bull Racing, the championship contender? I think you know who that's going to be. We'll get to that in a little bit in this episode, but starting with you, Jordan. Of course, you didn't do an instant reaction to this. I kind of did. I jumped on, give my explanation, obviously Red Bull fan, about what I thought. I also kind of went into a little bit of the history of Honda as well, which I want you to discuss as well, because obviously we're all talking about Red Bull and AlphaTauri, aren't we? But we started in 2015 with your team, so through that McLaren Honda days, oh my days. Obviously, then as they go into Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri, and then with Red Bull Racing. Yeah. What have the Honda days been like in your opinion, and why do you think they've left, and what has gone on to make the Japanese brand say, after many wins with Red Bull Racing and a good stronghold again in Formula 1, because obviously they were in there, through Ayrton Senna in the old McLaren days, to say we're not happy anymore and we're going to leave? So yeah, in your opinion, why have Honda left, and what were they like, in starting in 2015, obviously going through their three teams that they have done?
Mm-hmm. Well, when Honda first came back into Formula 1 to re-partner with McLaren, it was certainly an exciting time for, if you were like an old school fan of Formula 1, because back in the days of, in the 80s and 90s, Honda were seen as like a formidable force in terms of engines. They didn't have their own team at the time, they were only an engine manufacturer. So, and of course they won multiple titles, not only with McLaren, but with Williams as well, leading on to them to have really good success in the sport. So when they rejoined in the brand new V6 era, it was something that really interested Honda. Honda were really excited about the direction of where Formula 1 was going at the time, trying to go a very cleaner route, trying to reduce their carbon footprint, and that's something that Honda wanted to do. I think Honda underestimated how maybe difficult it probably was. And at the time, when the season first got underway, and in fact, no, probably since, well, I would say before the season got underway in pre-season, you could see that there was certainly teething troubles with the Honda power unit, and it was looking like it was, all right, okay, it's only testing, let's see how it goes. But 2015 was a horrible season for, not just for McLaren, but for Honda as well. And it certainly, Honda got a bad reputation because of that. There was memes doing the rounds. You had Alonso deck chair, you had a GP2 engine, you had a not really famous moment, but one that sticks out in my mind was when Alonso retired from the Russian Grand Prix before he even started the race, him climbing up the car at the pit lane entry. That's something that just sticks in my mind. And it was just horrible. And as a McLaren fan, it was. I mean, we're Newcastle United supporters, so to have to endure supporting Newcastle and McLaren Honda at the same time, I don't know how I coped. I really don't know how I coped. But no, and then once they went to Toro Rosso at the time in 2018, I think people were a bit, I don't know, sceptical. I think is the word I'm looking for, sceptical. McLaren just divorced it completely, went to Renault power, and as part of the deal, Renault went from Toro Rosso to McLaren, and Honda, of course, went the other way. And straight away, off the bat, in pre-season testing, I think they completed more laps than I think more laps than they did throughout the entire testing with McLaren. But I'm pretty sure that they did more laps in testing in 2018, the Honda Power cars, than what McLaren did, which was like, okay, then so this isn't just a Honda problem. Was this a McLaren problem, which shed some light? And then going to Red Bull was a risk, a big risk as that. And we all know how public the fallout was between Red Bull and Honda. Between Red Bull and Renault. And for them to go to Honda Power was a risk, but it was a risk they were willing to take. Was it the only option? To probably either stay with Renault or try with Honda. And I'd imagine they were impressed with the numbers that they were given from Toro Rosso. I think they were more like their guinea pig kind of team. And okay, what's the options? What are Honda like? Is this proven to be a success? And lo and behold, it was. It was a successful season for Toro Rosso. Of course, no race wins, of course, but a lot more reliability, and Red Bull took the challenge on. And it was a risk that I would say didn't really change much. In my opinion, I think you could, if you said, "Oh, here's results from 2018, and here's results from 2019. Which one's Renault Power? Which one's Honda Power?" You could probably go, I don't know. They're both quite similar, which is what Red Bull wanted. And they got a race win, their first race win Honda's first win since 2006 with Jenson Button at the Nürburgring, which was at the 2019 Austrian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, of course, winning that race that day. An emotional moment. And it was like, okay, Honda, they have got it in them. They really have got it in them. So, of course, Honda leaving at the time was... initially, I was very surprised. I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. But then, of course, fellow YouTuber Cranky Yankee did a tweet about this. He tweeted saying that he seen it coming because he did a video about it back in January.
We know that.
And he explained a few things. Now, sometimes with his tweets, I'm a bit... my mind is not really glued well, I would say. It's not really built well. So he talks smart. He talks smart and I read dumb, I think. So I was trying to read between the lines. You know, he goes really in deep with his tweets, and they are really fascinating, by the way. And he explained why he thought it was coming. And Honda signed a 2-year deal when they joined Red Bull. They signed a 2-year deal with them for 2019 and 2020 with both themselves and, of course, Toro Rosso. And then they signed a 1-year deal in 2020, I believe, for 2021, or 2019 for 2021. And everyone was a bit, okay, why is it so short? And then you kind of question and go, yeah, why was it so short? Were they planning on exiting straight away? Were they looking at it going, from a standpoint, it's not something that we want to do anymore? And now, of course, we all know where the world's going at the moment, to reduce carbon footprint, to reduce carbon emissions, and the future is electric, and that's where Honda want to go. They want to go carbon neutral by 2050, and for them to do that, they need to cut back on their emissions. And Formula One is not only a big cost, but it's not what they want. It's not part of their plans. It's not eco-friendly enough. Formula One. So Honda were like, well, this isn't for us. We need time and investment in for us to go forward. We need to be carbon neutral by 2050, and for us to do this, we need to say goodbye to Formula One. I think there is more to this than just that. I mean, there was talk of it being a financial point of view because of course, with the current climate. And the last time Honda did leave Formula One was because of the massive financial world crash that they had back in 2008, which led a lot of businesses going bankrupt, losing money. And Honda was one of those companies that needed to reduce costs, and by doing that, they had to get rid of their Formula One team. And Honda have said that this isn't the case this time around, but I think this could be a partial factor to that, financial costs. It does cost a lot to build a Formula One engine, of course, like $200-300 million, I believe. So it's a lot of money to invest in, not only for Red Bull, but for AlphaTauri as well. So they had to take that into account. So that's one of the main reasons why. We may never know the official proper reason, but what we know is going forward, they want to reduce their carbon footprint. By doing that, they've got to part ways with Formula One. And now it leaves Formula One in a tricky situation, because now from 2022 there'll only be 3 engine manufacturers at time of recording, which of course is Mercedes, Ferrari, and Renault. And for Formula One, it's a bit of a. I thought we were going greener. I thought this was the future of the sport. And if Honda are believing, well, this isn't for us. It's not good. We want to concentrate on more, carbon emission, reducing our footprint. Formula One isn't for us, and it kind of shines a light on where Formula One is right now in terms of that. But they have said they're not leaving on bad terms. I don't believe that they said that they're taking their experiences and using it to fund their electric division and try and go more carbon neutral, which is what they want to do. Yeah. So the next thing is probably to discuss is what does Red Bull do now? What next Red Bull? They haven't got any power beyond 2021. And yeah, of course, there's loads of speculation about who they could be powered by, which I think you probably know who the obvious candidates are, who they want to be with, who more than likely will be able to power them, and maybe they could get someone from elsewhere. So Lyle, let's ask you first. Your Red Bull, of course, your team, of course, no power. Who do you think, in your opinion, will power them? Who will power them? And maybe who do you they may never power them, but who do you want to power Red Bull? Who can you see like a Red Bull Lamborghini partnership, let's say, for sake of argument? Do you want to see that? Do you want to see that personally? So who do you think will power them, and who do you want to power Red Bull?
I don't want. Now, again, there's been no real talks about who Red Bull could go to, but of course, as Jordan said there, the likely one is to return to Renault, a team that I'm surprised. I'm honestly befuddled about why they've had such a turbulent time. Remember, Sebastian Vettel 4-4. They were loved, and Renault Sport were on the podium as Honda were. Back in 2019 with Max Verstappen in their first win, and Renault, basically every single person. I almost feel like it's a Total Wolf kind of thing. Every single person from the factory in Enstone was on the podium with either Sebastian Vettel or Mark Webber. Loving it, drinking that champagne with the trophy, loving it. I don't know how it fell out. I don't know how it fell apart like it did. But anyway, it did. And obviously we all saw that dig in Netflix Drive to Survive where Cyril says to Christian, you need a driver and an engine, because obviously at that point Daniel Ricciardo had left. And they were in exactly the same position, minus the driver. But we never know. And obviously that's going to get on the third part, which we'll have to stay tuned for. Yes, of course, they could return to Renault, which is very, very... if they do this, like Jordan said there at the start, not knowing the difference between 2019 and 2018 results, have they really achieved anything? But if they do go back to Renault, it'll just show that, Renault were right. And this kind of, even though it was a fun little kind of thing to see, and of course, I bought a Honda top, I don't know why I need to bin that, may as well just go back to my Renault one. They can go back to Renault, but it just, I'd say it'll have seen though these 2 years just being completely wasted. And of course, Toro Rosso AlphaTauri could possibly go back to Ferrari. It will further them from Red Bull as well, which was one of the things that, of course, Dieter Mateschitz wanted to fix. STR Ferrari, as they were then Scuderia Toro Rosso Ferrari, an Italian team using an Italian engine. It was so far away from Red Bull Racing. So as they want to break away, they also wanted to say, well, I tell you what, you use Honda, then now we'll use Honda. In 2019, 2020, we're exactly on the same page. Honda engines for both cars, it's incredible. And then, of course, after 2021, 2022, they're both in different baskets. And I said in the video, I'd quite like to see them take different options. Whatever Red Bull do, AlphaTauri, I want them to do something different, just because I want to see how they get on as their own independent team. They were running Ferrari engines when Red Bull were running Renault engines, and I think it worked quite well because they were different on different levels. It showed sometimes how reliable the Ferrari engine would be compared to the Renault engine. But anyway, going back to the original question, about who would power them. In terms of Ferrari, no. Scuderia Ferrari have always been a challenger to Red Bull Racing. If they go to a Ferrari engine and also a Mercedes engine, those two teams, of course, are at the top. Red Bull won't be an A team. There won't be a team fighting at the front anymore. There'll be a B team. An example of this is Aston Martin. I don't know how they're going to get on next year because they're using a Mercedes engine. Now, again, I know that, of course, they can run at the front as they do. Perez and Stroll have been having some good results. But I feel like they need to have their own engine supply to break away from Mercedes. At the moment, they're still a Mercedes B team because they're the second team that use the Mercedes engine, and that'll be exactly the same for if it goes to Red Bull Racing Mercedes or Red Bull Racing Ferrari. Red Bull Racing Renault is the only team I can see, or the only engine I can see Red Bull still being a championship contender, because they'll use that Renault engine. And even though, yes, of course, you've got Renault as the manufacturing team, or the works team, the yellow one, I forgot which one is which, the actual Renault team, they're still, of course, behind Red Bull. So Red Bull Racing will still be the main A-grade team, just like they were with Sebastian Vettel back in, of course, the V8 days. But in this way, though, they've also got Renault to power and also no, they haven't got McLaren anymore. So they've got Renault to power. So again, that'll like show that they're not 100% committed to Red Bull, obviously, as they were back in the day. So I can't see them going any direction other than Renault. I can only see Red Bull going back to Renault in Formula One. One of my main things that I hold and I still stick around is I feel like they really missed the bus. I've said this twice in 1 week. Is to Aston Martin. Around 2016, 2017, when Aston Martin were rumoured to come in, and of course they entered Formula One with Red Bull as a sponsor, it was rumoured that Adrian Newey was going to be working on an Aston Martin engine, but not just a sponsorship or anything like that, like a pure Red Bull racing Aston Martin, very much like the road car industry, and basically create an Aston Martin engine as a new manufacturer in Formula One. Now, of course, they've moved on. There's no chance of that happening anymore. So Red Bull's numbers are, almost non-existent, Jordan. In terms of what engine I think they're going to use, we can all say what we want to see. We want to see Audi, we want to see Porsche, we want to see Lamborghini and Koenigsegg and Bugatti and, all of the car manufacturers out there, Skoda, Fiat, Ford, Dacia. Oh, that would be decent. James May would like that. Good news! He would like that to see. I'll lose my train of thought when I say something funny, which always happens. Yes, so Red Bull Racing, I can't see them going anywhere else than Renault, Jordan. And it's kind of anticlimactic, it really, really is, but I can't see them doing anything else but Renault. But they have Adrian Newey on board, they have Christian Horner on board. I'm sure that if they put their minds together, they can come up with a good, decent solution to fix this. And it might not be to bring in a new engine supply, it might be to work around something where they can, I'm not saying create their own engine, but I don't know, you never know with Red Bull Racing, you never know what they're going to pull out. Will they maybe use a British brand that we've never seen before, that might come back into the fold? We might see, I'd like to see, as I say, other brands come in, but I really, really don't know. At the moment, I'm just saying Renault. I think also as well, just the last thing on my point is what you touched on before about the eco-friendly and the carbon neutral. Again, I think another engine supply, and we've talked about this in other episodes, another engine supply coming into Formula One, they wouldn't want to do that. Formula One, it's not making money as it used to do. It's bad for the environment. It's costly. So they're not going to want to do that. When you've got Formula E around the corner, we all know how hot Formula E is right now. Everyone wants to enter that because it's carbon neutral. It's helping the environment. Of course, costs are cut down. And actually, as I say, it's very, very popular at the moment. So in that way, no engine suppliers are going to want to come into Formula One at this point. I'm surprised these three have even hung around. And of course, that's why Honda's left as well. So it's not as simple as one leaves, another one comes in. I know it's F1, I know it's the big league, it's the big show, the big dance, which I'm sure that used to be the name of Christmas. I think I read that up somewhere, back in the old days, they used to call it the big dance. I don't know. Maybe not, but it's a big dance anyways. Welcome to the 25th of December, it's a big dance. Lost train of thought again. So anyway, yes, I don't think it's as easy as one team leaves, another team comes in. So there we go, Jordan. It's Renault. It's quite, and it's probably not the debate you wanted, but I can't think of anything else. Obviously, yeah. I mean, where do you see Red Bull going, and also AlphaTauri going in 2021? No. I think that they're just going to revert to what they used to do. But as I say though, AlphaTauri and Toro Rosso originally had a different engine supply to Red Bull. So there's a possibility that they could go back to the Ferrari route, an Italian team. I mean, also, would you like to see that as well? And of course, an Italian team, an Italian manufacturer. Would you like to see that, or do you think that what they should do is now they should still stick with Red Bull, and if Red Bull go to Renault, then AlphaTauri should go to Renault also? Because I mean, it's worked out well for teams like McLaren and of course the main Renault team. So yeah, what do you see for the future of not just Red Bull but AlphaTauri as well?
I think it would be interesting to have AlphaTauri and Red Bull having different engines, of course. But of course, with the V6 era, I think Red Bull use AlphaTauri as like their own guinea pig team. So like they'll take penalties for Red Bull. They'll test things on that car. If Renault bring this part, Like Red Bull can basically see the data and go, right, okay, that's improving. We'll put that on our car, so it makes life a lot easier for them. But if they're just playing on Red Bull and it's just them, then they can't do that. I think in the V8 era might have been a tad different, but I think Renault didn't have their own team at the time. Well, in that period anyway, they did back in 2010, but then they reverted to what they were called Lotus, which I don't think was really branded as Renault, apart from obviously being powered by the Renault team. I could really see Red Bull and AlphaTauri having the same engine. More than likely, it will be Renault. Mercedes is a no-go, an absolute no-go. Absolutely no way in this goddamn earth will Mercedes power Red Bull, because they are, of course, their main rivals. Ferrari, again, they won't, because of where Red Bull are and how much of a threat Red Bull are to Ferrari. Even though that they did used to be powered by them when they first entered Formula 1. However, Red Bull were a midfield team at the time, and Ferrari, of course, were a front-running team, so there were no threat to each other.
No.
Well, Red Bull weren't any threat to Ferrari, that was. But now there would be a threat. And the Ferrari engine, it's not that good, is it? You know what I mean? Not just Ferrari, for Ferrari's sake, but for Haas and Alfa Romeo. It's so underpowered, it's so unreliable. It's almost like a 2015 Honda engine, isn't it? So why would you want to go down that route? I mean, not as bad, of course it's not, but you know what I mean? How much the Ferrari engine has crumbled in recent weeks. But Ferrari have always bounced back, and they will bounce back. So do Red Bull want to have a gamble on that? I just can't see Ferrari providing them with any power. But Ferrari powering Red Bull is more likely than Mercedes powering Red Bull. Mercedes, just don't even think about it. It's not going to happen. Yeah, of course, Renault. Now, I don't know if you know this, but it's been everywhere. That, and if you don't know this, I'll explain. There is a rule in the FIA regulations that if a team can't find an engine supplier by a certain date, then the team with the manufacturer with the least customers, in this case Renault, will have to power that team. And I think at one stage, Ferrari came under that rule a couple of years back with Toro Rosso, coincidentally, which is why they were powered by the team for about 1 year or so. I'm not too sure, because they went from Renault power to Ferrari power and then back to Renault a couple of years back. So Red Bull would fall under that rule, so therefore they'll have to go back to Red Bull. Renault will have to go back to Red Bull whether they like it or not. Like it or lump it, that's how it is. There's also talk, right, and like you said there that they wouldn't build their own engine. Yeah, of course they wouldn't, because they haven't got the facilities. But there is talk, word on the street, no, this isn't F1 24/7, that Helmut Marko and Christian Horner are out in Austria, have been out in Austria before the Eiffel Grand Prix, having words with Mateschitz, of course the boss of Red Bull, the Red Bull company, trying to convince him to buy out the facilities from Honda so that Red Bull can take over the project left by Honda so they can use their facilities to build their engines, to use whatever. So there'll be, of course, it won't be Honda Power, but it'll be like Honda Power, but it'll be rebranded as a different name, and Red Bull can use their research, their work, and their whatever to build their own engines. But Honda will need that facility if they want to go, like I said, to go on this carbon neutral path that they want to go down. So if Red Bull are using up their facilities, it's less research and less room to use for Honda. So, and they want to move completely away from Formula One altogether. So, I don't know how likely or unlikely. At first, it was becoming very unlikely, but then this thing came out saying that Marko and Horner were out in Austria talking to Mateschitz. So, we'll have to see how that unfolds. I can't see it happening, unfortunately, but that's how it is. So it's literally either Renault or they try and entice another car manufacturer in to team up with them. Now, you've got two problems. Well, one problem was always a problem, which is the cost. It's, like I said before, it's very expensive to enter in Formula One. And, like Lyle said earlier, and why Honda are leaving, or one of the reasons why, it's because of the carbon footprint. Formula One is not eco-friendly enough. Now, there is new regulations coming in terms of engines for 2026, which F1, they need to get this right. If they get it wrong, I do fear the future of the sport. I really do, if they don't get these engines regulations right. But we'll worry about that in a couple of years' time. So for now, it's not eco-friendly enough. And that's why Honda are leaving, so why would anyone want to do that? But if someone's like, let's give it a bash. If they do want to do that, it's cost. We're living under some of the most bizarrest, the strangest, the darkest times this world's ever seen right now. And for companies like a car manufacturer, the car sales are low, production's low, staff's low, everything's low at the moment. And of course, if everything's low, so is the income. So does anyone want to gamble and pay $200-300 million to two teams to invest in Formula One engines that's not really eco-friendly enough? It's going to take a lot of convincing. And honest to God, if Red Bull managed to pull it off, wow, hats off if you can. But it's very unlikely. Now, there was talk of, I remember a couple of years back, Porsche apparently built a prototype F1 hybrid engine, which to suit the new regulations of 2022, and then of course for 2026. But they scrapped that idea. VW, again, they were interested, but they said no, because BMW themselves, I think VW own BMW, or they're part of that group, or Audi, Lamborghini, they own a lot of car manufacturers. Bugatti, yeah, exactly. So, exactly, Bugatti, well, would. Thank you. Yeah, so I just can't see it happening. I can't see anyone else coming in. And like I said, I'll be very surprised if so. So it's either Renault, they team up again, or it's a no-go. Well, yeah, it's either Renault or bust, essentially, or they can find someone else. So I think we should talk about probably two very important topics. One about a driver and one about a team. Let's talk about the driver first, which of course is Max Verstappen. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about his future at the team now because of the Honda engine deal. Well, Honda pulling out of Formula One altogether. Because Verstappen signed a brand new 4-year deal at the start of the year till 2023. You know, Red Bull promised him, okay, we'll give you this. Honda, the data from Honda looks good. Of course, we've won races with them. We know Honda coming in straight away. They were never going to win first time round. It was going to be 2022 was going to be this big year. Yes, bang on. Like when Mercedes rejoined. Mercedes rejoined Formula One. Of course, it's not going to get off to the best of start, but they seen 2014 and went, that's the year we need to get. Let's just go slowly now. Let's bang the heel, what is it? Hit the nail on the head in 2014. I couldn't think of hit the nail on the head in 2014, and that's what they did, and that's what Red Bull and Honda were going to be doing. But now Honda are no longer there for 2022. So Verstappen is like, okay, well, there was a rumor that there was a clause in Verstappen's contract to say that he could leave if Honda left, and Horner and Marco have completely denied this. Now I don't know about you, but I've got trust issues with Red Bull. A lot of trust issues with Red Bull. You don't know what Marco's going to say next. You don't know what Horner's going to say next. Yeah. I mean, but let's not forget that these were the guys who said in the news, "Oh, Gasly will not be dropped." Yeah. And a few days later, Gasly was dropped. All right, okay, fair enough. So since then, I'm a bit all right. Okay, is there a clause? Is there not? Now, of course, they can say whatever they like. In Verstappen, he's not going to turn around and go, well, there is a clause in my contract, and I am thinking about leaving. Even at in the press conference, he even said, I'm not talking about my contract at all. Which then I've went, he'll headbutt someone. And he's like, I'm not discussing my contract. And I'm like, there is something. I don't know what. It might not be anything to do with Honda, but I think there might be there will be a clause in Verstappen's contract. Absolutely. You need to have a clause in someone like Verstappen's contract. Absolutely. But I don't know what. But there is something. Now, Verstappen, the future is bleak at this moment in time. Now, even though Verstappen has signed a brand new, fresh 4-year deal, believe me, guys, that means nothing. And I've said this loud before. It means absolutely nothing that Verstappen is going to stay there for until the end of his contract, because he's not there because he likes Red Bull. He's not there because he's good friends with Christian Horner. He's not there because, they gave me my chance in Formula One. They back me. He's there because he wants to win a championship. Verstappen can win a championship. He just needs the right car behind him. Red Bull have promised him the world, and he's not getting it at this moment in time. So 2022 is a big year. Well, it was supposed to be a big year, but now he's going, if you just go back to Renault, I don't want to be a part of Renault anymore. I don't want to be a part of that. It was bad back then. It might be even worse the second time around. he's got every right to be worried. So therefore, he will be looking at other options. And in my opinion, I think Verstappen, this is as close as we may get as for Verstappen leaving Red Bull. And I think it will happen. It will. Because unless Red Bull pull out of the bag, they need to, they went through that development phase with Honda, which is now gone, or going, and now they're going to have to do it again with maybe Renault or somebody else. So is Verstappen going to have the patience to go, well, I can't do this anymore. I want to be somewhere that will back me, give me a car to win a championship. And there's only one team on the grid that can provide Verstappen a winning car, and that's Mercedes. And, well, I mean, at this moment in time, no, but who knows what 2022 will have to offer. So, Lyle, Max Verstappen. I think he'll be off.
I've said this
really do think he'll be off.
Video. I feel like
what's your thoughts? Where do you think he'll go?
Kind of
and why?
Promise, and I can't think of the word. He's going to stay. He wants to see Red Bull through. That's his team at the end of the day. We've talked loads about Sebastian Vettel, how he ran the team, how he wanted it to be, and basically Red Bull Racing were built around Sebastian. Was that lone man it's in the middle of nowhere, and they've literally built the house around him. There's no other driver like Sebastian Vettel in this way apart from Max. He has the team. It could almost be rebranded as Max Verstappen Racing. And as Jordan was talking about there, buying now Honda, and they probably wouldn't call it Honda. What would they call it? Well, I don't know, call it Max Verstappen. Red Bull Racing, Max Verstappen. There we go. That is the name. We want right. I think Max will stay. But I do agree with you on one thing that you said, though, and that is that this is the closest that we're going to get to see Max leaving. Now, of course, Max is not going to stay at the team forever, and there's very, very little chance of that happening. And even at the end, even like one season to go in his career, what we all thought Kimi Räikkönen would do. This is his team, and he doesn't know what's around the corner. I think that if we can get something sorted this season for 2022, Max will be happy to stay at the team. But I said to Jordan beforehand, and the thing that I think will tip Max over the edge is he'll stay with the team, as John said there. Contracts are made by now. I mean, remember Nico Rosberg signing in 2017, or Nico's going to stay, no problems at all, and then what does he do? He doesn't stay. It's contract honestly meant nothing. Contracts can be ripped up. And there's no point. You do sign a piece of paper and stuff, but apart from maybe some legal talk, it actually is nothing. Especially if you're the big cheese at the front, like Max is, like Nico was. You can break them easily. You've got enough money in the bank to pay off any debts that you owe because you broke the contract. So Max will, let's say he stays for next year, and I'm saying that as in really he has got a contract, but it means nothing, as Jordan said again there. So he stays for next year. And again, he's like, right, okay, last season with Honda. Because by the way, as well, we're talking about 2022. This next year, Max could win the World Championship. This could be Honda's year. Mercedes could fall. Lewis might take his foot off the gas. And I say that because even though, again, I like Valtteri Bottas, Max is close to catching Valtteri. At some stages in the season, he's better than Valtteri. I think Valtteri's obviously pulling away now as he's just won the most recent Grand Prix in Russia. But Max can catch Valtteri. So I say that as in Mercedes don't have to fall. Lewis can just take his foot off the gas because Max is very close to catching Valtteri. Exactly. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a possibility there.
Let's not forget,
John,
Lewis Hamilton,
when you were saying
that,
I was thinking Valtteri's going to go, in this circumstance, and of course, we all,
put two and two together.
Yeah.
He signed a deal for next year, which again, of course, like I said, the deal means nothing. But Valtteri's already been officially confirmed. Another 1 year deal.
I mean, again,
I've always said having Lewis and Max in the same team doesn't make sense.
I was thinking
having Max or Lewis makes sense. If Lewis wanted to
stay, then yes, he would stay. Would he work well with Max? Would he work alongside him? And I think yes, he would. I don't want to see there being a problem with Lewis versus Max. In terms of a team perspective, it would work really well. Anyways, going off that. So yes, Max could win the World Championship next year, which of course as a Red Bull fan, I'm definitely pinning him to. If Max says next year is his last season, I will put all my faith in Max. I definitely will, and I want him to obliterate the British drivers. I don't care about nationality. I want him to win if it's his final season. But I don't think it will be. But the only thing I think will happen if he'll leave is, so of course, yes, if Lewis retires and Valerie and Mercedes offer him, loads of money to go at the team, then there's a good possibility. But over that, because as I say, Max is the helm of Red Bull. He's the guy. The team is built around him. I can't think of any other objectives, whatever that word is. Because the team is built around him. The only thing is, and I was saying this, John, is if we get to 2022, if we get to next year, and they haven't got an engine sorted, we're in limbo, and Red Bull are going to be stuck for no engine. And again, as John said there, Christian Horner, Dieter Mateschitz, Helmut Marko, you can't trust anything that comes out of the mouth. They're saying we've got an engine, we're good for it, it's around the corner. It's like that, it's like that. Tupperware dish you said you were returned to us 20 years ago. I've got it. It's in my bag right now. And they don't, and they completely lie, and they don't have an engine. It's just lies. And it comes out, and Max finds out, and he's thinking, right, well, do you know what? 2022, he's been at Formula One, 6 years at that point? He'll think, 6-7 years, he'll think, right, you guys are really annoying me right now. You've completely lied to us. It's like I was saying there, there must be an advantage about Red Bull Racing having AlphaTauri, having a sister team. So, and I don't know why I'm just saying this because, they're Italian, or obviously Switzerland, that's where Alfa Romeo are based, but, they're still Italian at heart, the Alfa Romeo kart brand. But you never know, Scuderia Ferrari might say, I tell you what, we're going to buy AlphaTauri, because they do have Scuderia in the name. It's like it's Red Bull's name, but it's still got Scuderia in the name. I don't know, that's just one opinion. But as John said there, they could get bought out. Do you think, just final thing about this episode, John, would you think that was a factor? Because obviously we've seen them go from Jaguar as well, and obviously they've evolved over the years, and of course Toro also have as well. They used to be Spiker, I think. So could you see that happening? Could you see someone buying Red Bull Racing out and then becoming something else? Just off the top of my head, the Malaysian people that own Carabao, I'm just spitballing here, or another energy drink company in Carabao. They already bought the English Football League, English Football Cup. They already bought that to create the Carabao Cup. So could you see Carabao buying them out, or another brand, or even an actual company like Alfa Romeo did with Sauber? Could you see that happening with Red Bull Racing and just changing hands in the name? And then obviously Red Bull Racing still continues as it did from Jaguar, but it's just starting a new chapter. Red Bull Racing is done, but it doesn't fold completely. It still just leads on from another team. We could see Christian and people like that still staying around, but as I say, just under another name and different colours and in a different team completely.
There's every chance that could happen, because of course we've got these new regulations coming into play to hopefully make F1 cheaper to run, but we are still living through some difficult times, and this isn't just going to disappear overnight. Even when coronavirus or COVID-19 is completely gone, the financial effect is still going to be there for another couple of years. And it'll take a long time for companies to able to recover and hopefully make the money that they once did pre-COVID. And for businessmen to invest in Formula One that heavily, because even though that, of course, the new rules is hoping to make the sport cheaper and easier to run, it's still expensive nonetheless. Like, we couldn't just buy a Formula 1 team because of the new rules. It's still a very expensive sport. It's still a very expensive upkeep. And do people want to invest in that? I really don't know. If it appeals to them, then they will. But that's what you've got to think about, and that's probably what makes this even more trickier. It is appealing for them. I do hope that someone could buy out Red Bull, but if nobody does, that's two teams gone from the grid. I hope that isn't the case. But ultimately, the future of Red Bull will determine if they buy an engine manufacturer, bring one in, like a big one, and they'll go on, they'll become a works team again. Of course, if they do want to think about an F1, they will keep Renault. They will try and convince to keep Max. I don't think it'll take. I can't say it being convincing enough. But hey, that's Formula One. Only Max knows what he wants. Red Bull know what they want. They know what's going to happen behind the scenes. Yeah. We don't. We can only speculate. Yeah. And either if Max leaves, Red Bull will. It's up to them what they do. They might feel like we can survive without Max. We can go on without Max. Yeah. But even if they do get the Renault deal over the line and they want to stay in Formula One and Max leaves, they might do another year and might go, look, it's not helping us any not having Max. Let's just call it a day. But
It is a really it's a really tricky situation, but I don't know. We've seen Red Bull come out.
I will conclude and say I do favour Red Bull. I just hope that things can turn out to be good, and hopefully that Red Bull do stick about and we can have all 10 teams on the grid still. However, I'm less confident that Max will stay at Red Bull more than anything. I'm less confident now that Max will stay at Red Bull, and I do think he will go off to another team, whether that's Aston Martin, Mercedes, or even Ferrari. Someone else that will have a better facility, unless he wins the championship at 21. Other than that,
that has got a possibility, definitely. I mean, I'm behind that. I really, really am, definitely. And obviously, Jordan says you leave. I don't think you will. But as I say, we don't really know what's around the corner, and that's what's exciting as well. I wouldn't put money on him leaving.
We've got balls, but none of them are crystal, as Vettel once said.
One said at Red Bull, no, he said it at Ferrari, but yes, former Red Bull. I wouldn't put money on him leaving, and I wouldn't put money on him staying. I wouldn't put money anywhere. Just gambling is dangerous. But anyway, there we go. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. And of course, that is the end of the episode. It's been a long one, guys. Yes. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. Let us know in the comment section below if you have made it to the end. Let us know what you think about Red Bull, Honda, and of course AlphaTauri. Where are they going to go? Where's Honda going to go? And where are the Italian team and the Austrian team? Where are they going to go? It's big talk. But as I say, the news can come out at any point about what's going to happen in the future. Where are AT going to go? Where are RB going to go? And where is MV going to go? If anywhere. It's going to be a big one, so obviously stay tuned for that. This weekend is the Eiffel Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, a race that Max could do quite well, and I think we have seen a few Max Verstappen victors, so let's see what can happen then. Of course, your race reaction tomorrow will come from Jordan. It should be a very good one in Germany. Very, very excited for that. We're coming towards the end of this. We're coming towards creeping up on the end of the season now. Wow. It's actually getting quite tense, and of course, we're just incredibly grateful that we had a season. It only felt like yesterday it was Austria, didn't it? So yeah, Formula 1 obviously cracking on in Nürburgring tomorrow. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. 3,000 subscribers is our goal for the end of the season. The end of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is on Jordan's birthday, and I guess he would love the birthday present of 3K. I would as well, so please, please, please help us out, and of course stay tuned for all of our content coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Stay safe, and until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.